Good afternoon. We are in Palatka, Florida today, and we are here at the time of 3:41 p.m. on the 26th. This is Monday, the 26th of July of 2025. July 26th of 2025. We are in Palatka, Florida, and the date is Monday. We are continuing our interview, a wonderful interview with Mrs. Brown. And I'm going to have her to give her full name, make sure we've got everything. Mrs. Brown, your name?
Mary Lawson Brown.
And how did you get Mary Lawson Brown? Explain your name.
Well, I didn't tell you the true full story. Dr. Long, who's a black doctor here,
One of the first.
and he and his wife became my godparents. She was the school librarian. Delivered me in my grandmother's hospital. And he went home, and his neighbor was named Theodosia. And my daddy's name was Theodore. And he went to the window and called his neighbor and said, they were friends of my parents. I called to let you know that Theodore Minute had a little girl. She said, oh, let me go and call them up and congratulate them on little Theodosia. Well, my grandma answered the phone, and she said, I called to congratulate you on little Theodosia. My grandmama said, little Theodosia something. I don't know if I can say it.
I got it. You didn't have to say it. I know exactly what she said.
Little Mary Jane. And she said, she gonna be named after me. My other grandmama said, well, my name's Elizabeth. Said, why can't we name her Mary Elizabeth? My grandmama said, they can have some more children, but this one gonna be named Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
So Mary Jane Lawson became my name right then and right there.
All right. That's beautiful. Now, would you give me the name of Miss Long? What was her name?
Golda Long.
Okay, because you forgot to mention that. All right, earlier. And of course, we have
Dr.
your father.
J.A. Long was
J.A. And then we had Theodore as your father, and Minnie was your mother's name. Okay, I want to make sure I had all that straight. Excellent. Now, we've covered before the names.
Oh, you know what? You asked me about my great-grandmama. Her last name, her name was Dolly Osborne.
Wait a minute, let's go. Great-grandmother, Dolly, D-O-L-L-I-E, Osborne, O-S-B-O-R-N-E. Was there E on that, Osborne?
I'm not sure.
That's okay, I'll look it up. Okay.
But her name was Dolly Osborne. You saw the picture we showed you?
Yes.
I knew it would come to me after.
Well, we got that straightened out now, and we have already gone through the names of the children. We did that on the first interview, and we talked about some of their activities. We did mention too the early family and their relationship to enslaved people. We spoke about that in our first interview, and we mentioned also school and education, which was extremely important. And we talked about the school. We mentioned family Bibles. We mentioned news clippings. We mentioned school yearbooks and other materials that were shared relating to family members during the early years. And then it came down to the point to marriage and your husband. And then after the marriage and so forth, eventually you both went to school to become morticians. And then that school was in Chicago, and we have seen a picture of the class that graduated from that particular school in Chicago. And from that, they came back to Palatka and have continued the work of serving not only as morticians, but as community liaisons and people that have helped to build up Putnam County. This is the county that we are representing today. We talked a little bit about the neighborhood and the various businesses in the neighborhood. We talked about the women sewing. We talked about bartering. We talked about different activities that were carried on in the business community of the African American portion of the community. And we talked about a little bit about black women, but not very much there. So we've covered the family and some of the prominent positions that they held in the community, in the state, and some of the activities that have caused them to be prominent to the community. We talked about the politics. We talked a little bit about midwives, housewives, laborers, and farmers in the community. We spoke about the Florida Memorial College and relationship. And the key thing that I wanted to make sure we remember are some of the key people that they have met and had influences over the years. And we're going to start with that, with the black, I had put down the hospital that was built in 1918, and it lasted till 1958. Would you give us a couple of statements on that? And I should not call it the Black Hospital. It was the first hospital.
It was the first accredited.
Area.
It was the first accredited hospital in Putnam County.
Right.
And it did not only take care of black people, because that was the only place they could go. It took care of whites. She had white and black staff. And what made her accredited was she had her X-ray, which my dad had somebody train him. He did the X-rays. My mom did the lab stuff with all the other stuff that they did. And let's see, they had operating room. What it took to make it an accredited hospital.
Okay.
She helped send young girls off to school, and some of them came back and worked for her to become nurses.
And where was that hospital located?
It was, the address was 823 Lemon Street, and that was on the corner of Lemon Street, which is now St. John's, and 9th Street, right next to our house.
Okay. And how many people would it accommodate?
I think she said 35 beds.
35 beds, and that was huge for that time. And you all did deliveries, and you did basically whatever was necessary to be called a hospital.
Well, all the doctors in the area brought patients there. And I don't ever remember her turning anybody down. No matter what their income was, if they needed help, she found a way. She took payments. Sometimes she got paid in chickens and ham and greens and potatoes, whatever they could do, or so much a month until they could.
So the main thing was that she offered the service.
Yes,
you were open to the people in the community.
And then the funeral home did the ambulance service. And when I was a kid, they paid $5 anywhere in the county to go pick somebody up and bring them to the hospital. So. Oh yeah, and the other thing about the ambulance, you had an area, if they were sitting up high, they were riding as in the ambulance, and then you used it also to carry the deceased. Well, it was the floor of it. Yeah, the floor of it. Yeah, you had to put a cot in when you took patients, and so they had a floor that was flat. If we had services for the casket to go in, they flip it over, and it had rollers. So they could roll the casket on the rollers. And then for the people that were sick, then it would be up higher so they could see out the window as they were riding. Well, those windows were where you could see out anyway. Well, I looked at one of the pictures that you had, and they could look out the windows as they were riding in the ambulance. So it had a twofold purpose. And let's talk a little bit about the funeral home. We have pictures now to go along with the funeral home showing the outside of the building, also showing the inside of the building. And it's also showing the people who worked in the funeral home. And that is most important. The other part that we really like is what people would have to pay for burial services. So you have some receipts there from the early days, and that we will share later with the public so that they can see what it costs
which was very small for that time, but it was right in tune with the cost of living for that time of life. And also,
well, that you that you saw was his bill. He would write up, and he'd write one up for him, and then write one up for the folks, so they would have a copy of what each thing cost, and the services, what the merchandise and what the service cost. So what you saw actually was a bill.
a bill. Okay. Well, we'll have that, and we'll insert the bill so that one can see it. And then the ambulance, which was outside there, and the location of the building, so that we can share that.
And I think the bill you saw was in November 5th of 1944.
Oh, was it 44?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So we have that for that, and I really appreciate the details there. And the other thing that was really nice was the pictures that you had of your father and your grandfather, because we didn't have those prior, showing them dressed and then showing the family. That is most important, to show the history and the progression of the family from the early days up to the present. Those are very captive, and people enjoy that, especially those that have not known anything about Palatka. We're trying to help Palatka grow. And this is one way that we are getting it to grow, with your interviews and history that you have shared with us.
Well, we need to tell our young men that back in the day, my grandfather died in 1930, but prior to that, there were people in the town that said they never saw him without a coat and a tie. So I would like to remind some of these young guys who got hanging pants,
Please.
you may be around long enough that you want to wear a coat and a tie.
It helps.
Yes.
It gives you a sense
Your
of
appearance.
status. Your appearance, when you walk in the door, tells so much about you. I've said that so many times when working in the library, and they come in there in all kind of conditions. You know, and I said, you come up here and you want some service and you're looking like this? And they kind of back off.
Well, I offer rope. Did any of them come up here? And my son said, you can't talk to those young people. But I said, come here, darling. You are so handsome. But you need to pull your pants up.
Absolutely.
And they very nicely look at me and either like I'm crazy or smile and say, yes, ma'am, Miss Browning.
And they would.
Yes.
They would.
Yes.
They just needed some encouragement,
Yes.
and they still need it today.
Oh, they get it from me today.
Yes. Now, we also need to encourage our young women, too, with their attitudes and their dress, because some of the dressing is not very acceptable. But we've worked toward that, and we're going to continue to do that. And we haven't talked about that in your presentation.
You know, I told you I went to that private school.
Yes, I'm looking down here now at the education. And you want to go ahead and start saying a little bit about the private school.
Well, we learned how to really work there, because even though we paid, they had day students too, but even though we paid, they thought it was worth it to train us. So everybody had a job. Some of us would clean the lounge, which was the sitting area. Somebody would clean the hall. Somebody would clean the classroom. Somebody would wait tables. Somebody would wash dishes. We also had to make sure our room was clean. We got up at 6:20 in the morning. We went to breakfast. We cleaned our duty work. We cleaned our room, and we went to class.
And name the school. I forgot to put that in there.
The name of the school is Boylan Haven
And
High
location.
School, Palatka, 1214 Jesse Street.
14 Jesse Street.
I think that's east side of Jacksonville.
East.
It's over near the stadium.
Okay. All right. I want to make sure that we had that in there. Can you name some of the students who attended that school?
Well, right now, I think our most famous one is Janetta Betch Cole. And all the work she has done. But we were pressed and trained to do our very best so that we could go and do other stuff. My roommate was named Alonzetta Neal, and she was the first woman hired in the military hospital in Montgomery, Alabama. And I don't remember the names, but the first people that served on the black women that served on the school board, we had one or two of them that had gone to Ball and Haven. We've left and we've done all kinds of things in all kinds of places. A lot of them became teachers and nurses and had professions and things.
Those were the jobs that we could easily serve our communities.
I had another roommate that went to Africa, and she was secretary for the Secretary of Agriculture there for a little while. So her name was Daisy Watson. I don't know what her married name was because I haven't seen her but once since we...
Daisy Watson.
Yeah.
Okay, and she went to Africa?
Yeah.
Okay, what part of Africa?
You know what? I don't even know, but I know they told me she sent her son back over, and he came to Daytona to the air school to learn how to be a pilot. And her husband had a freight company over there, she told us when she came back.
Oh, wow. They made very good of their time.
Yes. But all of us were trained to go forward and work, and they've done outstanding things. It's just that at my age, I don't know where a lot of them went, but I know a lot of them were involved with education because they pushed for us to help.
Move forward.
Yeah, we need to pay forward. We needed to help other people as people helped us.
And that is so important. So they said one pull up another one.
Yes.
And we continue to do that.
Yes.
And that was something that was taught and is still taught today to our people.
You know, Marvin Betch went to Janetta's sister.
Yes, that
studied
was a
opera.
sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
She studied opera, so.
She went overseas to study.
Yes. I think it was Italy she went.
Yeah,
studied opera in Italy.
Yeah.
So we were encouraged to
seek higher education and to go as far as possible.
And they taught us how to sit, how to stand, how to dress, how to speak.
They taught you etiquette.
Yes. My junior year, I was picked to be the spokesman for the school. I traveled with the choir when they went to areas that wanted to know about the school. It was started by the Women's Society of Christian Service of the United Methodist Church.
Women's Society
of Christian Service of the United Methodist Church. It was started by white women because they said they wanted their people who took care of their children to be educated so that they could take care of their kids properly. And it turned into a college prep school.
Okay, well, this is a new organization, Women's Society of Christian Services
of the United Methodist Church.
United Methodist Church.
If you go to the United Methodist Church, I think they still, that's one of their functions.
Well, this is new. I had not.
You might need to check that out. You know, I'm trying to think of Geraldine. I know Williams. I can't think of her married name. She pastored at one of the churches.
Oh, in Gainesville?
In Gainesville.
Yes. She was United Methodist, yes.
Yeah. Check
she
with
lost her husband some time ago.
He did? I thought he was still living.
Well, I mean, no.
She's from here.
Oh, really?
She had a brother that went to West Point. And she had a sister that wrote books to help do the sewage or water treatment stuff in Atlanta. So that family was very progressive, and she became one of the first female ministers. We all really good friends.
Okay.
My father and her father, he was a minister here. And I think he was in the United Methodist Church, and they were good friends.
Okay, let me put this down for Gainesville. Yes, I can relate to that very well.
Talk to Jerry, because all her sisters and brothers most of them did something.
But see, you're expanding out, and this is good.
Okay.
And she's right there in Gainesville, so that makes it wonderful. One other thing, we're going to move to a slightly different approach here.
I wanted to tell you.
Go right ahead.
They had a large dining room, and so they would let people come in sometime and rent it and have banquets. And that's how I learned how to use proper etiquette. Because they taught us how to serve from the left and take from the right, you know, when you did stuff, and what fork, knife, and spoon to use. So being the first, like in a lot of places I had to go when I got elected, I was not uncomfortable. I knew what I...
You felt at home.
Yes.
Because you knew how to proceed with materials and activities. And that's important. They always say if you don't know, just sit at the table and let someone else go first, and then you follow.
Yeah. But they didn't do that with us.
I know.
They made sure we did stuff exactly right. I told them, I was telling you that I went to speak, and then I was president of my student body, and I was valedictorian of my class. I don't.
Oh, you were the valedictorian?
I don't usually tell people that because.
Well, that's important for us to encourage our young people. They need to know that.
I just never felt like I was that smart. I just felt like I was ordinary person.
You just fitted in with everybody else, but you had that extra gift.
The gift of gab, and I think it started my speaking career because getting out and having to go to different places. Sometimes when you're in public, the public light, they see you and say, would you come say a few words? And I would always say, well, Lord, here I go, Lord. You got to help me again because I didn't know I was going to have this to do.
But you know how to get up and you know how to captivate the audience and get their attention.
Well, we need to motivate those and get them to want to do things to make it better for themselves and other people.
Absolutely, and this is for our young generation, this is for our men and for our women and for all, because things are changing and they're changing so quickly, so they've got to know how to maneuver now and what they're going to have to do for the future. But I want to speak to you a little bit about some of the famous people, I call them famous for the state of Florida and for the U.S. and other places that you have had contact with. And I'm going to start with the governors. And of course, just the one that I had number one for me was Bob Graham, because I met Bob Graham, and I was also able to shake his hand and to receive an award from him many years ago. And so I'd like to know a little bit about your input with Bob Graham. Now, you know he's deceased, and he was from the University of Florida. The Bob Graham Center is there now. And then the oral history program is upstairs on the second floor of the Bob Graham Center. So that will really speak well for the center. Well,
my father, I said, hey, when I graduated from high school, I didn't go to Bible school. But he said, no, you need to go to college. He had gone to Tuskegee and Morehouse.
Oh, right.
My mother had gone to Howard. Grandmama had ties to Miss Bethune. And I said, I don't think I want to go. Everybody was wanting me to go to one of them. I think I teased and said I went to a football game and I left that all-girls school. I said, I'm going somewhere else. And I went to a football game and saw FAMU play with 2 or 3 squads of men and the Marching 100.
Oh, yeah.
I said, I'm going there.
You got to be there with the action.
And actually, that's where I met my husband. But it gave me great contacts after I got out in life. And that's what my father told me. You need to go there so you can make contacts. And Governor Graham had an aide that worked for him named Marvin Davies. And Marvin and I had gone to FAM together. And y'all ought to love FAM because we had Jesse McQuarrie too. You know, but Jesse was the first Secretary of State for the state of Florida. Was that Secretary of State? He was Askew had put him there. But Marvin connected me up with the governor and got a chance to meet him, and then he ran for Senate, and they asked me to take the lead in getting out the vote for him in Putnam County for minorities. So I did that, and I had the opportunity to work with him because we were trying to get rid of drugs, and we went to a workshop together. So actually I had a chance to talk one-on-one with him and his wife.
Okay, yes.
So, yeah. So it gave me a good entree into government and seeing how it worked and knowing that I needed that person.
You needed his connections,
Yeah,
and he needed you. You needed
Yeah,
each other,
yeah.
so you could make changes.
Yes.
Okay, well now let's go to Bill Nelson. Let's mention him because also at that same building there's a auditorium named for him.
Well, Senator Nelson, I was trying to figure out. When I got elected, they needed minorities on boards and committees, and so I was just what they needed, a double minority. And
Female and black.
Yeah, I went to Tallahassee to the League of Cities, and Mr. Ray Siddick, who was the rector there, evidently saw something in me. He put me right to work. He sent me to be a spokesperson for CDBG for the state of Florida.
And what is that CEBG?
Okay, Community Development Block Grant Committee.
Okay,
and
thank you.
It's very important for rural
areas.
Yeah, big cities get a check written by the federal government and by the state, but we had to scuffle for grants and look for where we could find it. And in doing that, that began to give me people to meet. And when we would go to Washington, I was on what they call a strike force, fast action
Well, I
strike
have here
force.
Fast Action
And strike-
Task Force.
Yeah, strike force.
Fast Action
and stri-
Task Force, Washington, D.C. And
it
you
was
were
called
a
FAST.
lobbyist for Congress. I
Yes.
wrote that down, yes.
That was where we, from the League of Cities, groups of us would go up, elected officials. It would be your mayors and your commissioners, and we'd go up and get a chance to see them and speak to them one-on-one or explain stuff to them. And we found out that that was an excellent thing for us to do. They have a National League of Cities that works and provides stuff for us, and we have a black young man that's over it. He was the mayor of, oh goodness, one of the little towns on the muck, what grows sugar and stuff. His name is Clarence Anthony, and Clarence is a national administrator for them. And we go up, the League of Cities sends people up to ask people to go up from their cities twice a year. I never could go up that much because my city couldn't afford to pay for me to do all of it. When I first went, I told them if they pay for the room, I pay for my travel and the rest of the stuff. And later on, they began to give us a little bit more monies to do stuff or feed us when we got up there once or twice or something. But it gave us a one-on-one, and I met Senator Nelson then, and I said, I guess being little and loud stood out a little bit because he seemed to remember me, but I made a friend with his aide, and when I would need something from Palatka, the city manager or the commission would ask to put in a call because I knew her, and we'd get a response
Get a
back.
response.
Yeah, and I found out that was the way to do it. The way I learned how to do that was from Corrine Brown
Okay.
and Carrie Meeks.
And Carrie Meeks.
And when I first met them, they were at the State House. Corrine was state representative, and Carrie was the
I don't know, I was thinking about a son.
yeah, Kendrick.
Kendricks, yeah.
Well,
I
she
met him.
was one was a senator and one was the
Representative? No.
no. Corrine was a representative, and she was what's the other thing that they have in Congress. Anyway, I went there looking for monies to do housing because our folks had needed work and housing. And when I got there, I talked to Corrine, and she sent me to Carrie. She was senator, Senator Carrie Meeks. One was a representative, the other one was a senator. And they say, you come so late, you need to come earlier. but they stuck a $50,000 little thing on the end of a bill. Well, it passed the House and the Senate, but at the time, whoever was governor there decided that the rest of the stuff wasn't what was needed, so we got cut out of it. But from then on, it gave me a way of knowing if I got to them, they had their staff to help us find stuff, research stuff. I'd gone to Washington. They took me to lunch when they went to Congress. They took me to lunch in the House of Representatives dining room. I really felt special.
You were.
And Corinne took me to a barbecue that the farmers were having up there at the time, and Publix was having the other. So that gave me some contacts too.
Yeah, very good contacts.
And if I ever called, I could get to those ladies. If I got to their age, they'd have them call me, or they tell them what to call me back with. Right. So it gave us a good working relationship.
Excellent.
And they've been here to the house. When Corinne was running, she was part of our group, and my family and I, and the group that I had that helped me get elected, we got out and worked for her.
To help her along.
And so she brought Carrie Meeks here to the house, and her son Kendrick, when he was running, he came by too. So that was a good way for us to keep a good relationship, because we as cities need to work with our counties and our state governments. We're always better together, and our needs are the same, and sometimes we just need to have that in so that we can tell them what we need. We, city commissioners and mayors, are where the rubber hits the road. We get all the complaints, we see all the hurt, and all that.
First on the line.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we really need to work together. And when I was there and working, there was always somebody who would call me back.
And keep the ball rolling, as one would say. Did you ever work with Geraldine Thompson? She, recently passed. Geraldine passed. She passed in February.
You know, I probably did, because I have to.
She's out of Orlando.
Okay, sometimes I have to see some of those. Reddick was out of Orlando, and then who?
Yeah,
the city.
Reddick
Mabel Butler. Mabel Butler was a city commissioner, and Mabel and I had the same thing. Mabel would take her a folding table and a chair and sit on the corner and speak one-on-one to her, and that's what I think. We talked about it. We hung out together when we first got up there, and we found out that people want to feel like they're important to you, and that we need to hear them. And sometimes, if they have problems, they can give you an idea how to solve it, because they've lived in it and they know what's going on.
And they can relate to you, and they feel special that you take the time to want to listen to what they have. That's important.
But sometimes the other thing is, when they call me, I made sure, if I didn't know the answer, I'd get back to them, or I'd have somebody like my city manager get back to them, even if it was something we couldn't do anything about. If we explained to them why it was done, it made a much better working place for us.
You gathered the vote right there, and the community is more in tune to that than anything else. Now, let me mention a couple of other names. Jesse Jackson. Did you ever have any connection with him? I know you did.
Yeah,
I did too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still living.
Yeah,
because we went to school. Carolina.
I was excited when I first got elected. He was running for president.
That's right.
And I took one of my friends with me who had worked on my campaign to get out the vote. And when I went somewhere, I always tried to take somebody. And we went to the Democratic convention.
Oh.
And I went to meetings, and my daughter went with us. I went to meetings. When I came back, her name was Mary Lucky Doo. She had Jesse Jackson buttons from her shoulders to her knees. And she was hollering, "Run, Jesse, run." But as time passed, Corrine Brown brought him to Palatka, and people were really excited that he thought enough of us to come.
Oh, he was that kind of guy.
When they would leave, she'd come to town, I would make the arrangements for where they would go and some kind of refreshments and stuff.
Give him the open door here.
Yeah, and they'd come by. If I had something to eat sometime, they'd eat with me because we became friends and stuff. So the last time when he came this time, I said, "You want my autograph?" I said, "Sure do."
Of
So
course.
he got a poster in there with Mandela, and he signed the autograph on his hands and stuff. And we got to meet, I got to meet the deputy director of the Department of Agriculture one time, because there was stuff we wanted, and her staff went to the airport to get him and said, "Come ride with us." So I got a chance to ride and talk to him one-on-one. Yeah, so any opportunity I got, I said, when we had the Department of Community Affairs, we luckily one year had a black person in charge. And I had been bugging everybody else to come, but I got to him, and he came, and he flew into our little airport. Palatka has an airport.
Oh, yes.
He flew in at 10 and stayed till 3 o'clock and looked at our needs and stuff, and then he gave us some feedback when
That
he
was
got back.
real special.
The other one, and I can't remember what his name is today, became over the Department of Agriculture, and I bugged him so much. He didn't come here, but I got an invitation from him to come to Tallahassee and be on a selection board for grants that they were doing on Lake Okeechobee down there. And they sent me all this stuff to read, and I think they sent me 11 copies of the ones, and they say pick 7. And we did that, and they said that the other will be done when you get up here. Well, I get up there, and I'm looking for the rest of the commissioners of Mary, and I'm the only one. Everybody else worked for the state. I said, they got me good. They didn't have to pay me for this. But I made up my mind that maybe he was trying to give me some insight on how grants should be written and the ones that would do it. And I got the opportunity to bring the winning ones back so that my folks could look at it to see if they could use anything on it.
That was wonderful.
Yeah, I took opportunities to
bring things. Yeah, but you use your intuition too so much. I mean, I'm just listening to you talk. I mean, you had your antennas high, and you were looking at the right people at the right time, and then you had favor.
Well, the other thing is the Florida League of Cities was a learning spot for us. I took a course in international trade while I was there, and they had other things. I was on the insurance commission. I served 2 terms on it.
You had an insurance commission for Florida?
For the Florida League of Cities, they have their own insurance.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
They insure like our police cars, our buildings, so that cities can get a fair shake at what your insurance is. You know, they have a loan trust.
Yeah, I have a loan and trust here.
They have a loan trust. They had several trusts. I'm told that it's a $1 billion corporation that they have worked on to help us. They pull up all of the grants that are out there, and we used to get them in big books now, but you know they got everything.
Everything's online, yes,
online now. But it's a place where if a city has a problem, I would tell the folks now, if you got a problem, let me tell you this. Call the league, because somebody else has got the same crazy problem too, and maybe they've got it solved or can send you somewhere.
Direct you to where you can get some support.
And they had the guy that was over it. The father was there at first. His name was Ray Siddick, and then
what was his name again?
Ray Siddick. And his son's name was Mike Siddick, and Mike started a lot of this stuff. But
Siddick, C-I.
It's S-I-T-T.
It's what?
S-I-T-T. I have to look.
Oh, Siddick.
Siddick.
Okay. Mike and Ray.
Yeah, and they had when we go to conventions, they had people come in and talk to us, or have some of us. I did orientation one year, and for the conference I did prayer one year, and they had folks come in to us who could explain what was going on, and why. They even had somebody come in who analyzed elections after it, and why so many people voted for this and how many people voted that. So it was, they had a study on international business, anything they thought, and they started a college that trained people. Now, when our folks when I went, was there, we had to find out ourselves, work through it. But now they have a school that you go to, and it teaches you about budgeting, how to put it together, and other things that new commissioners need to know.
Okay, they have to learn so much so quickly.
Yeah, and the ethics law is really crazy.
I can believe so. What do you think is going on now with the new change of administration? Not going into details, but...
Well, but see, with cities and counties, if you're on a board with somebody, you can't discuss what you're going to vote on. You didn't know that. The state they do it.
Yeah.
But they don't let cities and counties do it. If we do, they call it the Sunshine Law.
Yes.
And we're subject to, back then it was $10,000 fine or jail or both.
Wow, this is something I didn't know.
Yeah. And they teach us about people, what happens to folks if they go take bribes and stuff.
Oh, I can see how.
It teaches you all of the ethics stuff, what you can and cannot do. And people don't understand. A lot of times they ask us to do stuff,
and you can't touch it.
You can't touch it because of the fact that there is the Sunshine Law for cities and county elected people.
One other question I wanted to ask you that you mentioned earlier, not in this conversation, about St. Augustine and the shortage of housing over there, and the people from there coming to this area to find housing. What has been done in that respect?
Nothing. Nothing. It's just that what happened was in the 60s, the mayor we had, they took properties in our north side of town and put housing projects in there. I had about almost a block of property over there, but they told us we'd have to let them have it or they take it with eminent domain. Okay. Well, the reason really for it was those were dirt roads and no infrastructure. So they thought if they did that, then they could take the money they have for infrastructure and use it somewhere else. So they, in the 60s, did started a housing authority. And it's still, I'm trying to think, I'm gonna have to ask, but I think they got 420, I think the last time, 420 units. But what it has done for the city is it took those properties off of the tax roll. And what it does, they pay a little something in lieu of taxes, but it's not anything like.
So that hurts the city.
Sometimes, but it gave our people who would ordinarily have nice housing, a decent place to live. It was supposed to be where they went in there for a certain length of time, and they'd get jobs in homes and move out. But over a period of years, those older people got in there, and they stayed until they died. Of course. But they have a tight-knit thing. They go in and check these houses out, and then they've got subsidized housing that they let people get to rent houses or apartments. They get some funding for it. Okay. But they come in and do it, but those people have to have those houses in tip-top shape.
Well, that's good. That's good.
So
keep it up.
But St. Augustine decided that they didn't want any kind of housing like that in their community, and so they don't have any.
Okay, so that's what.
So they said if you need somewhere to stay, you go over to Palatka. And
come
we
into
had
Putnam
more,
County.
yeah, we had more people coming into the county for the help we had to help take care of. Then
Well, were they using this county as a bedroom community and working over in St. Augustine?
some of them, some of them weren't working at all. They just
just wanted to be in the South.
but it was a lot of people still working in the fields, and then they had in Keystone, not Keystone Heights, but Orange Park and those places, they have build boats and stuff like that. So they would, commute to them, but they were still low income folks because they weren't making.
They couldn't make the money.
And then we had Florida Furniture who made bedroom furniture.
Oh, okay, all right, that's a new one to add to it.
They had Florida Furniture. It worked out folks pretty hard for not a whole lot of money. My sons, when somebody said they didn't want to work for us, and one of them got a job at Florida Furniture, and they got 5 or 10 minutes break during the thing, and an hour for lunch, and 5 or 10 minutes in the evening. And my son said, well, Mama, you don't have to worry. I will be going to college.
Real quick.
I never worked that hard for that little bit of money no more.
And probably no benefits to go along with it to support
and
them
we had
and their family.
we had a cypress mill here too, years and years ago.
Okay, I'm not aware of the cypress mill.
And they worked a lot of people at the cypress mill till they almost took all of them. Cypress, it was supposed to be the largest in the United States at one time because they go all up and down.
In Palatka.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that was because you had the good waterways here too. So
well, a lot of cypress on the St. John's,
St. John's River.
Yeah, back on the, because cypress grows and it's still cypress, because cypress doesn't rot.
That's true.
And when I first got on, they started changing out water pipes. I went and I saw water pipes that were made out of cypress. What happened, the connections had to be taken care of, probably fixed. But those pipes, you probably had the cleanest water.
In town?
Yeah.
Well, let me switch a little bit. I wanted to ask you about Al Lawson. I'm going back to your family now. And he is a cousin, and he's also a part of the system of politics.
Yeah, I did not know he was our cousin. My children went to school with his children. They didn't know it because see, they're Browns and the Lawson didn't come up. As soon as I got to Tallahassee, we got to talk and found out we have relatives in Gainesville. We have relatives in Gainesville, and they told them about us. And he took me on his way too. I'd go up there and go in the gallery, and he'd announce
that you were there.
Yes,
of course.
Yes, and we still talk to each other back and forth. I was so sorry when they drew his lines where they.
That was terrible.
Yeah. But he was good for us.
He was good also for Rosewood.
He was.
He stood for that Rosewood.
Let me tell you I'll tell you about Rosewood too. We were up there, and Lawton Childs was governor.
That's right, Childs was the governor.
Well, we met with him to tell him that he needed to do what he needed to do for Rosewood. He looked up, he had the legislature and a city commissioner. He said, if I'd known I was gonna get this blowout, I don't know, I'd have come better prepared. I'd have come better prepared. But it shows if all of us come together,
stand for what's right.
That's right. We can make a difference.
Absolutely.
And those people who think one vote doesn't count, that's silly. It does. That may mean you get there or you don't. And then somebody told me one voice speaking up doesn't do anything. That's not true either.
No, it echoes, and people don't realize that voice, single voice, echoes. When you have a group, sometimes it's loud, but it doesn't get through.
Yeah. Well, I have been in one of those places where I opened my mouth. That's how I got elected. So your voice does count.
It does count. It does count. Now, I'm thinking in terms of closing this out. Is there anything that you would like to tell?
Oh, you didn't tell Lawton Childs.
Oh,
I had
yeah,
Lawton Childs.
That's right. We hadn't done Lawton Childs.
Lawton Childs had,
Yeah.
he started Rural Development Council. And I became part of the Rural Development Council just out of volunteer. I think he invited about 1,000 people. He got about 200 of us there. And there were not that many minorities there, so I got on their board for a little while. And they sent me to Washington that year to represent them. They sent 26 of us from the country to go to the Department of Agriculture to talk about government from the bottom up. And that was, I think, one of my first trip to Washington. And so I talked about doing international trade from a rural airport.
Oh, they didn't know what to say about that. From a rural airport. Here?
Yeah. We have a K. Larkin Field that was a World War II airport out here, and it takes small planes now. We haven't been able to get the longer runway because some of the electric people here, like, I don't know, I think it was Seminole or Florida Power and Light, their power goes all the way to Tampa, St. Pete.
Oh.
And so there are lines that go across where people would need to go to land and take off. And it slowed that process down. But they're thinking sooner or later they'll put them underground and they can go back to doing some of that.
Good.
But with Lawton Childs, the reason I had one-on-one with him, and it was because they wanted to close down Rodman Dam. Rodman Dam, at the time, affected the county of Marion and Putnam by $8 million, which was a lot of money back then. They had a road going across it that our people lived on the other side, and that was the way they had to get across in and out. And people come up every few years, and they want to drain it. Well, if they drain it, those trees, they'll look like somebody stuck toothpicks in a cup of something, you know, because the trees are really gone. And they were talking about the manatee being caught in the locks, and they were saying that the bears and stuff couldn't cross. And I sat there, I went up, I think, about 4 or 5 times. Our state representative, who is now the president of St. John's River University, he was our representative then. I'm trying to think of his name, it'll come to me by the end of the thing. But he asked me would I go up and speak. And I was kind of surprised that they asked me, because I didn't know a whole lot about it. But I began to talk to people. And we got there and finally got a chance to speak to the human resource group.
Right.
And they make the recommendations to the full board. And there was one man really pressing, one of those state representatives, really pressing to do it. And I told them they had all these scientists get up and speak about how it was affecting
the community. And so forth.
No, how it was affecting the fish and the birds and
ecology.
the ecosystem, the ecology. And I got up and I said, y'all have forgot something. I said, you all come and you're more concerned about birds and manatees. And manatees, I said, what about the people? I said, it affects us by $8 million, the tooth. And do you know that it's the only place a person can take a family and it don't cost them nothing? I said they can go dig baits, get a line and a pole and a hook and go dig baits, and they can fish. They can take their kids out and get fish fries and have fun, have picnics. Say the other thing is this county is really poor. We grow potatoes and cabbage. I said if they go fishing, they can catch fish that feeds them. They can have French fries and coleslaw, or they can have mashed potatoes and cabbage. I said, y'all need to look at farther down the line in just that. And in doing that, the vote changed, and he came back and told it was in a whole newspaper article that what I had said had changed the way they had thought. They had never thought about humans.
The people.
Yeah. And so I said, that is the thing that makes me feel like the job I had was worthwhile.
You're a humanitarian.
Yeah. I told him I'm not a politician, I'm a humanitarian.
You are. Now, I'm going to ask you about one other person was Charlie Crist. He was also governor. Did you have any?
No, I never got a chance to know Mr. Crist. The lady up here that ran against him, I think she ran against him. We worked for her when she ran. No, here.
Okay.
We worked for her when she ran, because I thought it was time for a woman.
Well, Charlie ran 2 or 3 times, and he lost his last time.
I know.
You know.
But by the time he ran this last time, I had kind of slowed down a little bit. My health started getting bad about 2012, and so it slowed me down. That's why I knew it was time for me to
make changes in your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Charlie Crist did. You know, I was thinking about Mims, Florida, and he worked to get that building down there for. I'm thinking of atrocities that happened here in Florida. And also he worked with the White House boys, you know, and so many of them lost their lives and had poor living conditions. Yeah. So those are the kind of things I was thinking about with Charlie Crist. But like I said this last time, I don't think he should have run. But that's just my opinion.
Well,
and I had.
Sometimes it's all about timing.
That's right. Yeah,
it's all about timing and what people need.
Well, I think we have pretty well covered most of the things that I have on my sheet for today. We made sure that we've got the key figures included. And I wanted to ask you a couple of just little personal things. What's your favorite color?
Orange.
All right. What's your favorite food?
I don't know. Actually,
these are personal things.
Yeah. Actually, I bake cakes and cookies and junk. I'm a junk food eater.
Well, you love it, though.
Yeah.
All right.
And my family loves it. So.
So you do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how do you want to be remembered in history?
Well, that I helped somebody.
That you helped somebody along the way.
Yeah.
And that's how you want to be remembered.
Yeah. That's the way my family brought me up. I think that's the way they wanted. And if I have something good, my grandma said, pass it on.
All right.
Yeah.
So you want to be remembered as a person who worked to help the community, a humanitarian, a person that could think on their feet. And then you always would come out with a smile, and then you analyze situations and then determine how to handle those situations. I was just listening to some of your activities and how you maneuver. And you maneuver with a smile. I mean, I don't see any negativity at all.
Well, the guy that used to be a city manager, he said I probably was a calming influence on the commission because I always wanted to look at how we could solve a problem. I don't believe there's a problem you have if you sit down and communicate about it and maybe give a little bit, you know, that you can't solve.
That you can't handle it.
Yeah.
It may not be right then, but you're long term too, because I listen to as you talk, sometimes you have to go back and come back again and then think about how to respond to it, but you didn't give up. No, you hold on.
Let me tell you, when when you're a woman and you're sitting up there with older white men, I'd bring back so much stuff when I go because I was on so many boards and I met so many people and my mind just went. And I knew that they didn't accept a lot of stuff I would bring back right away, that I had to have another way of doing it. They might go off and a month or two later they'd come back as their idea. But when I was wanting to do something like the boats that we got down there at the dock, they call it my folly. And I just smiled at them and left and went and started a nonprofit. And it took us 20 years. We found 10 years. We found the grants. We got it together. We passed it over to the city. And people volunteered to work with me to get it done. So sometimes I said, I didn't say anything. It wasn't any need of fussing. It's just it's another way to do it. And I think that's one thing that I learned where I went to school. I had a teacher, a science teacher. She'd ask a question one way and talk about something else and come back and ask it to you another way and make us really think of how
to think of how to handle a situation. And it seems as if you've done a wonderful job. Well, and I'm very thankful that you have given us your time this afternoon to be in your home.
But listen, I want to tell you this one thing before you leave me.
Okay.
We had the first black accredited high school in the state of Florida.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that fact.
This is the president that was president. It was Central Academy. That's the old school. The other one, once they integrated, they took and turned it into you know what they do, a storage place.
Oh my
And
goodness.
now the roof and stuff is falling in, and for years there's a group have started to do it. This is what the school looked like when we went. It educated everybody. It educated everybody in Putnam County when you got in high school. So they bus kids in from the surrounding cities. They had they had one-room schools for the elementary, but when you got past then, flip it over, you'll see some kids on the back of that page. And they are in the process now of building a new building, trying to rebuild the school. And I had this young man bring it. They got a committee. And if you think you know anybody who can come up and help them, this is a basketball team from 1915.
1915?
Yeah. This is one of the girls.
61?
Yeah.
61. And this is 1952. 1952.
Now here are classes that graduated from there.
From Central Academy graduates.
And would y'all take a picture of this and look at it? Because these are three of the principals. And on one of these things, it had the other principal.
Let me get this one to make sure we got the three principals here.
Yeah, it's another page that's got another. This was the principal of the high school when it was accredited. It burned down. It was right up on Reed Street, right up there. It burned down, and they put this father out on Washington Street, down 11. And take these articles and take a picture of them, see? Oh, that's the other principal.
That was the picture I believe it was on.
That was the other principal. He was principal when I was schooled in this school at that one. And then these, Mr. Brooks was the last one.
We got the three principals here.
And that one right there is the one.
Let me get the name of this. This is called Welcome Magazine.
That's from the, they done gone out of business. I don't know if you
got the outside. Okay, then we get here. And this is the article in here on the Central Academy class of 1946, 1937, and then the Central Academy burned down. And then this is a picture of the girls' team, and the principal was A.J. Polk and Miss C.A., that was Massachusetts C.A., 1939, and then Rosa Lee Boyd, center on the second row, and Coach Elber.
And the other funeral home name was D.A. Boyd and Son.
D.A. Boyd and Son.
Yeah.
And then
this
let's make sure we get this last one here. The Home Demonstration Club was in 37, and that was with Mrs. Fanny Diggs. Okay.
But I had them drop this off because they have been scrambling for a while. They finally gave the property back to the black community, and they've got a group working on it.
Oh.
And they made it a bus terminal where the school bus used to go out. They took that building that was a garage, and the food people who give away food, it's a distributing place for all of the ones in the area that distribute now. And now they're paying them something a month so that they can see and work towards getting a way to redo the school.
Oh, well, look at this one. I had looked at the cover on this. Is Welcome magazine, the Putnam Premier magazine, and it's got the boat. Oh my goodness!
When
And
you
it
come,
represents three
I want to take you down to the river and let you see where they got the marina named after me.
All right.
If y'all come another time, we get in the car and just, you don't have to be filming me. You can just come. I enjoy doing it. Let me tell you, that's what I used to do. I'd invite people here, and I put them in my car, I say, and put the child restraining seats on so they couldn't get out.
Oh, you should.
And they laughed at me when I first started doing it. By the time I got to my black commissioners, my mayor was renting a bus and putting all of us on there so we could all hit.
This is the Central School in Palatka in 1969, and let me get that one too. This was the Central School. That's a fairly large classes.
Yeah. Well, listen, the school took care of the county.
Mr. Clayton went there.
The school took.
Mr. Clayton's on here?
Yeah.
Oh, you knew Mr.
The school took care of the. You know Clayton?
Yes, Cornelius Clayton.
Take the pictures.
I just talked to him yesterday.
That was his brother is a mess, honey. I know him too. They our people.
Yes. Mr. Clayton, he calls himself our photographer.
Okay, but when he come to take pictures, he taking them everywhere.
Yes, he does. That's him. He doesn't miss a beat.
I'm trying to look to see if they.
Okay, we got it.
But that gives y'all kind of a history. It was the only school for high
This
school.
is the one that he was on, huh?
I don't know.
I don't know which
who
one.
went there.
I remember you all talking about he was coming over here and you all did an interview.
Yeah.
That's been some time ago.
He a mess too.
Yeah,
And that
he is.
brother worse than him.
Really? I haven't met. Where does the brother live here in Palatka?
No, he did, but he moved to Atlanta. And he come back and forth and come stay with me.
Oh, the brother comes and stay with you.
He got a house in Satsuma, and he come to work on it. And he come and I had put him out. I get tired of him. He like a brother. Fuss and put him out. He come back.
What's the time? We're getting ready to close out the.
Yeah, it's.
Oh well, you're not still filming. Like.
Yeah, we're.
Yeah. We're still filming.
We got to get every word.
That's right. We can't let you slide.
Now, what-
You're too valuable.
Did you have something else to say about Central
The school.
Academy? I
Well-
think you were about to say something.
Central Academy actually, Crescent City, all of the small towns in Putnam County, and some of them that came from the Interlaken side, they begged bus parts to keep the bus running so they could get the kids in, and the football and basketball coaches and stuff, they keep those kids for practice and then they'd have to take them home afterwards. So it's really a neighborhood thing. The other thing is there was one-room schools that if you taught in the High Central Academy, you almost, if you got a job, you had to teach in a one-room school for a year.
Oh.
And for the experience, and my mom had a master's and she taught in a one-room school for a year when she came back to work in it. And there is another one group that they went to the school board 3 times to get permission and some help to build a one-room school in Satsuma. So people were wanting to educate their kids no matter what. And you know they were getting those old books with half of them gone.
Of course,
and stuff.
pages torn out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we understand that. Yes,
But I
ma'am.
wanted to tell you, if you are running anybody who can help them with funding to get that school back, and I need to give you these other churches.
Yes. Oh, please do.
Okay.
Yes.
The other church, I told you, the garage that was there was the Oxendine garage, and he did gas. He pumped gas and fixed cars. And then right across the street, the guy, they called him Tooney. And I may have to call and tell you his name because it got to come to me. He had a small station right across the street. He just had gas, so we had a place to go get gas.
Gas for cars.
And then we had we had kindergartens, and they were in people's houses. And Miss Fawkes was the first one, and
Mrs. Falk.
then yeah, like Fawkes.
Okay, I got it.
And then there was Miss Carter and Miss Lane in that next generation, and Miss Cummings. And if I think of the other part of the names,
The first generation was Miss Ford.
Miss Fox.
Ford.
I went to her kindergarten, so
And
she
then
had
the
my
second generation was Carter and Lane.
Carter, Lane, and Cummings.
And Cummings, okay, so that's, okay.
Yeah. Now we got other ones, you know, they got buildings and stuff, but they had them in their houses. And the churches, Calvary Baptist Church has a center. They got a great big building with a swimming pool, exercise stuff, a basketball court, skate
I've been
room.
there.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. In fact, I spoke there for Juneteenth.
If our churches weren't so selfish and would come together and use that place, it was a godsend for us. And the church I was telling you about, it was Emmanuel Methodist Church. That's the United Methodist Church. And I think we said AME Church, but it was the United Methodist Church. That's the one that sponsored the school I went to.
Okay, Emmanuel Methodist Church. And that sponsors school.
And there was a black Presbyterian church here years ago, but it kind of went away, and I don't remember the name of it. But Shiloh Baptist Church was a very active church in getting people together and to vote out during the time.
Shiloh was...
Shiloh Baptist Church. I think it's Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay.
It's out by the school, if you ever been out there by... But I said, I'm finna get in trouble.
Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church, got it.
They were the larger churches with the active ministers most of the time in them.
Okay. Now this one that I just went to...
Shiloh was where they did the voting. They made it and it was, we had a junior college too, Collier Blocker. Did you know that?
Collier Blocker.
It was named after the people who started Florida Memorial. When they consolidated, they put it in with the
community college, St. John's Community
but
College.
they built an annex to the school out there that was called Central, and then they named it Jenkins after a young man that won. He got killed in the war. I think a Purple Heart or whatever they give them, Medal of Honor, Congressional Medal of Honor. They named it after him.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Okay. Now when we were coming down the hall, there were some pictures on the wall there, and you mentioned...
that one or that one?
This one right here.
Right here? That's my family stuff. Yeah. That, I'm going to tell you what that was. Teddy retired from the mill. He was one of the first to work in the chemistry lab out there at the mill.
That's just...
Yeah.
Now when you call it the mill, what?
Georgia Pacific.
Oh, okay. Oh, Georgia Pacific.
That's one of the best paying jobs that most people get around here.
Yeah, Georgia Pacific, and y'all call it the mill. Okay, got it. I'm just putting mill up here. So
Florida School of the Arts is here too. It's at the junior college.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, ain't the junior college. St. John's. It's part of St. John's. They did two in the state, and it was one of them. We got one, and somebody else got the other one.
Okay, so I didn't know we had the Florida School of the Arts here as a part of St. John's.
And they were taking people to New York to see auditions and all that. Tina took ballet there. She was
Your daughter?
Yeah. Tina been to East and West Germany.
You know, that was one question I
Dancing.
didn't ask you was the different countries that you had traveled to.
I had not been in.
And
I
think
traveled
that's-
all over the United States, but we went to a meeting in San Diego, and I told Tina she went with me, and she said she'd go if I'd let her get go see her friends, because she lived out in L.A. for a while.
I see.
And we did that, and we had a cousin up near San Francisco. So we rented a car and did that. But I wanted to go to Mexico because I said I had never been. I've been to St. Thomas and St. Croix.
Yeah.
But we get there, and they call you into little booths. They have, trying to sell you stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And the people told us how much time we had to get back to the bus when we walked around. Well, my son Theodore told us, they kidnap people in Mexico.
They do.
And y'all don't need to go to no Mexico. I came out of one of them booths and looked up and saw the tail lights about 4 blocks down the road lighting up. I said, y'all, come on. Y'all, come on. It's time to run.
It's time to go.
And man, we took off.
You had to.
We took off running. I left them. I was with Tina and Josh. They had to catch up with me. I said, I never let Teddy tell me we got caught in.
And down here.
Yeah.
I hear you, yeah. Well, so have you been to Africa?
I have not been anywhere.
All right.
The people
well, no, I
offered
look
us.
at your necklace,
I made this. This is one of my pieces.
Oh my gosh.
This is one of my pieces. When I was beading, it depends on how good the eyes are, what medium of stuff I go into. But this is one of my first ones. I found this stuff and put this together.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. But you well know this U.S. and the South and this area.
The way I got to know most of it, I got on that board at the Florida League Cities. I went to them, I said, listen, y'all have sent me everywhere y'all wanted me to go, and I went. I want to sit at the big table. I said, I'm done dirty work. And so that year, Miami had not paid their dues, and there was a vacant seat. And the guy, Mr. Siddick, Mike Siddick, he said, wait, let's check. And we couldn't have but one representative for our area, but nobody wanted to travel, and our regional league didn't care. So I ran for it and got in, and I had been on that. I think that was either 90 or 99. I've been on stuff so long, but I've been on there representing us all of that time. And then I said, and I sat here, I want to get on the big board. So after I got on the big board, I wanted to get on the executive board. And I got myself on the executive board. And the insurance trust sent us on trips to learn more about stuff and have people with us. So I had that trip. And then when I got on the executive board, they sent us and had people from Washington and other places come in. So I had 2 trips a year I got for a while there. And that's how I got to Denver, Colorado, and all those places around. Even Bentington, where Walmart started. Nobody thinks about it when. So I've seen a lot of the states and been to a lot of their meetings. And the last ones were in Texas. And Teddy, and he was married, and his wife went with me. I drove most places that were close. The only places I don't like to fly were the California and Denver and that kind of stuff. But the ones that were nearby, South Carolina and stuff,
you get in the car and go.
And my children, after I got older, I had a buddy that had retired from the school system. She would go with me. We went to Key West a couple of times, meetings down there. Tina went with us. And we'd get in the car and go. And I told them it's a vacation for them because while we were in meeting, they had stuff they could do. And the league had stuff if you had somebody with you that they would
have a chance to enjoy it.
We went down the last ones was the Kentucky Derby. We went to Kentucky.
You've been to Kentucky Derby?
We went the week before and stayed, but they took us over to where they ran the Kentucky Derby to have lunch the day before. And I said I saw food from one end of that place to the, they
I
had
know.
every kind of food you wanted. We saw the horses run, and they tried to give us experiences. One year we went to Atlanta, and they took us to CNN.
Oh, you went to CNN?
Yeah, went to CNN. So they took us to places that we could get experience,
You could learn
yeah.
and enjoy it
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So it's twofold.
Yeah.
So you've been a lot of places.
Yeah.
And you've been a lot of rural places and
Oh, yeah.
places that you're trying to make changes
Well,
for the people.
The other thing is, I thought I needed to be an advocate, and not only that, but I thought that we need to help somebody else. So there were smaller cities that if I went somewhere and they needed to know where they could find grants or monies or how they could do something, discuss it with them, or they were new on. Last year in March, they invited me, well, this year in March, they invited me to come to my Black Caucus meeting as a speaker, as a guest. And I got there and they said, you know, you're a legend. I said, legend? I thought you had to be dead to be a legend.
No.
And it was a few of us that held on to it and met in our hotel rooms. And in meeting in our hotel rooms, we kind of held together and pulled other people in. And we started out maybe 5 or 10 members. They got either 200 and 250 members now.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, I got
Yeah, we want to thank you very much for your time and for the afternoon in Palatka, Florida. Our temperature today is in the high 90s. So we're sitting in a beautiful air-conditioned home, enjoying the comforts of living in Florida. And we want to thank you so much for your time, for sharing all of your many materials with us and introducing us to the young man, Mr. Porter, I believe it is, that's going to be a mortician very soon, and just opening up your home to us. And we say thank you because so many people don't give us this opportunity. So we feel special to be here with you today.
Well, so many people don't give me this opportunity either.
So again, Deborah, would you like to have words to say?
Yeah, I can't say any better than Sherry, but thank you so much.
Well, I thank you all because I think I used to not. I was very conscious of not wanting to feel people to feel like I was bragging
You're
about
not
stuff.
bragging. This is truth.
Yes, but
That needs to be told.
Yeah, what has happened now with the way the country is going, I think our young people and other people need to know not only about me, but how those people that went before me, my grandparents and other folks, people gave their lives.
Yes, they did.
To let them do what they're doing now. They got beat, they went to jail, and I'm old enough that I have lived through World War II, all the other, whatever they didn't call them, wars and stuff. And we need to pass this history so that they know what can happen if they aren't.
Oh, yes.
They aren't together.
That's right. Well, again, I want to say thank you. I want to thank you for your time. I thank you for your gorgeous home and for sharing it with us and the pictures and taking the time to bring your son and family members over from time to time. We've got to meet most of them. We will include them on the video.
Thank you.
We definitely will. And, it's going to be hard putting some of it together because it's a little
I jumped
scattered.
all over the place.
But that's no. That's okay. We got a lot, and so we're going to work with it, and we'll get it back.
Well, I know what you do because this is what my grandson does for a living.
Oh, okay.
He does the photographing, and then he does the what you call it.
They have
When he goes in and
clips it and cuts it and reorganize it.
He does that, and he does commercials and stuff for people. He's out there hustling. He wants to do film and make movies. He reads a lot, and they say that they want to do the history of our family because we've been so involved.
You have, especially in the funeral home business and the education and being a pillar of the community, because you all have helped so many other people. You haven't said much about it, but others have said it for you. That's why I'm here.
It hadn't hurt me.
And I think that ship coming down that water was one of them. Girl, you got to go talk to that woman. She got a boat coming in here.
It's 2 boats down there.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
It's 2 boats down there. And the commission that was there when I had the Black Mayor, they are the ones that named the marina after me.
You.
We also have another building that they've been using to give out food, and some of the people play bridge out of it. It's named after one of our coaches.
Basketball, football.
Yeah, he coached everything. He coached at the high school, and then when they integrated, he went over to the
community college.
No, to the big high school. He went from the black high school to the integrated
high school.
Yeah.
Yes.
His name was Coach Cooper, if you ever went.
Cooper, C-O-O-P. Okay.
But this town had a little bit of everything in it. It's 26 murals. The last time I counted.
In this
so
town.
Come over and spend a day with me. We have lunch and just kick back, and you won't have to.
Okay.
The film, just come and call and
Oh,
say,
I'd
come
love
on,
to do that.
let's do that.
But we'll see. We'll work toward that because we've been kind of pushing too. We're going to Chiefland, was next week. There's a lady there she's in her mid-80s. And then we still have another interview that we have not done, and that's in Leesburg.
Okay. But you know what? It's wonderful for us to do this because when I go to churches to speak on Black history, I don't call myself a speaker. I call myself a storyteller. Because
that's what it is.
The young people to understand, and I ask for them to sit a chair down, and I sit down in a chair and
be with them
and talk to them. And I say, this is how our grandparents and great-grandparents told the story. And they really are happy and thank me, and some of them have me come back and do it.
Of course.
But they better do it now because my memory now is in and out.
Well,
Somebody told me don't worry about it because they like that too,
But some days when you're home, just put your cassette tape on and just tape what you're thinking and save it. Just tape it and save it. You could be sitting there with your video or whatever and just tape it and save it. You may not think it important, but it may be very important for someone else.
Okay. My grandson bought a tape thing for me. It's hard for me to do that. I can sit and talk to you and tell you all kinds of stuff.
But you just don't like to sit and talk to a screen, talk to a camera. I understand. I follow it. Yeah, we are interactive people.
Yeah.
And we like that communication.
I told them when I was on there, something come up that I didn't know. If I'd go to that department. That department head would have to take me through stuff, so that when I made that decision, I knew I was doing the best I could. Yeah.
Well, that's what I have picked up from you. I mean, you analyze, you look at the situation, and you use Christian values. You didn't say Christian values, but you used the Christian values to get the job done.
But they done sent me to that school for 8 years. What you think?
It better be there.
don't